Flying with your infant is definitely scary, especially the first time you've ever done it before. So here are some ideas of things you can bring with you to be prepared and make you feel a little bit more comfortable. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm sharing all of my tips for how to travel with your infant on a plane. It is the time of year that everyone is packing up for their summer vacations, so I wanted to give some tips on how we have traveled with Shiloh in the past on a plane and help hopefully ease your mind a little bit and make you feel a little more prepared. Let's go ahead and start with what I'm going to be bringing as my carry-on item. My personal recommendation is to just bring one bag with you, and that way you aren't juggling multiple bags, your baby, a stroller, a car seat, and all of these things that you're gonna need to travel. So what I did is I packed all of the things that we needed for Shiloh in her diaper bag. So this is Shiloh's diaper bag, and it is also a backpack, which comes in super handy when you're at the airport and you are walking through security and checking your luggage. So I definitely recommend that if you have a backpack of some sort, especially if it's a diaper bag, to bring that with you, and then you can keep all of your stuff like in one compartment and bring the baby stuff in the rest of it. So the very first thing that you need to take with you is hand sanitizer and just things to sanitize. We all know that planes are a very dirty place. There are tons, like hundreds of people that go on and off planes and through the airport every single day. So especially with babies having a weaker immune system, you definitely want to bring some type of hand sanitizer and wipes. So I always pack hand sanitizer in this front pocket of her diaper backpack, or here on the side. I always make sure that it is somewhere that is easily accessible, and that way if you need to grab sanitizer, like for instance, after you go through security, you're not digging through your bag. You can just pick it up right on the side or in the front, and it's right there waiting for you. I also like to sanitize my hands if I touch anything before I touch Shiloh, so that way I keep her as clean as possible and she avoids getting sick. I think that it is really smart to bring your own sanitizing wipes, especially since you have a baby and they are probably going to be grabbing and touching everything on the plane and things that could potentially make them sick. So I always bring these little wet wipes. You can get these from the travel section of Target, where they have like all of the travel size shampoos and stuff, but these are just called wet ones. They kill 99.9% of germs, and it's just perfect for wiping down the plane, the armrests, the tray in front of you. Basically anything around you that the baby could potentially touch, you definitely want to wipe down. I also always bring these. These are baby safe wipes. So these I would use like to clean Shiloh's pacifier. You could also buy pacifier wipes, but I find these work just fine. I also use them to clean off her toys or her hands if she touches something. Basically, I don't want to use the harsh chemicals on her stuff, so I'll bring these instead because they are supposed to be baby safe. I like to pack my wipes here in the back side of the diaper backpack, and this is just in this zippered compartment. It is just an easy place to grab. I know it's right there and I can access it at any point if I need to. Okay, so we're just gonna get a few more obvious things out of the way. So you definitely want to bring diapers and wipes with you on the plane. Now it depends on two things, how many diapers you want to bring. One is going to depend on the age of your baby. If your baby is still in the newborn phase and you're breastfeeding, it's likely that your baby is going to be peeing and pooping very often. So in that case, I would bring at least one diaper for each hour that you're going to be traveling. Now, if your baby is like Shiloh, Shiloh's about 10 months old, almost 11 months, she's eating solids and her stools are less frequent and more solid. So we don't have to worry about changing her diaper as often. So I'm probably going to bring only one diaper for each 2 hours. You can bring as many diapers and as many wipes as you want with you on this trip. Just pack them in your checked luggage, and that way when you get to your destination, you have them there waiting for you. Also bring wipes. The last thing you want to do is run out of baby wipes if your baby poops. And they also come in handy for cleaning and wiping off things as well. So I always bring this little clutch for wipes, which is just really travel friendly. It opens at the top. It makes it really easy to restock the wipes. and this way I'm not trying to pack like a whole case of wipes with me. I also like to bring my own changing pad. So this changing pad came with the Ryla pack, which is my diaper backpack, and it just folds up in here. It's really easy to use and Velcro shut. So this could be used on your lap. Even if your baby is still small enough, you could change your diaper on your lap by putting this down. Like if you're waiting to get on the plane at the gate. If you're on the plane and you need to change the diaper, you could obviously attempt to put this down on the tray in front of you. There's just so many ways that this could come in handy. So I definitely recommend bringing a changing pad if you have one, especially if it's compact like this one. It is also important to think about bringing a wet bag. So this is like a wet bag right here that it's in. So I don't really bring anything extra. I might bring just like one extra plastic bag and throw it in there. That way, if you have any trash, like for instance, your baby has a poopy diaper and you're on the plane and you don't have access to a trash bin, you can go ahead and put it in the wet bag. Or if your baby has a blowout situation or spits up on their clothes and needs an outfit change, you can put it in the wet bag instead of just having dirty clothes floating in your bag. Shiloh is also still nursing, so I definitely brought my nursing cover with me, and this came in handy for so many different purposes. So we did nurse Shiloh when I was in the airport. I had to feed her, and then I fed her on the way up when we were ascending and on the way down when we were landing the plane. When their ears are adjusting to the different levels and heights, feeding them or giving them a pacifier will help their ears to pop and relieve that pressure, and that way they're not having some ear pain while they're on the plane. But anyways, I definitely did use this nursing cover not only to nurse, but it came in handy while we were on the plane because it kind of became like a little blanket for her, and it also like shielded her from, you know, the dirty parts of the plane that I didn't really want her to touch. So I definitely recommend bringing like a nursing cover and a blanket even, and it just will have multiple purposes for you while you're traveling. I also recommend bringing a change of clothes. That way, like I said, if your baby spits up or has a blowout or something like that, you have something to change them into. Now, obviously, if you have a long flight or you're going to be traveling all day long, you might want to bring a couple extra onesies. In our case, we had a very short flight scheduled, so I only brought one extra pair of clothing for her. I didn't want to pack more than I was going to need to. And also, Shiloh now has like solid stools, so we really don't have a lot of blowouts or anything like that. But of course, it doesn't hurt to have it with you, and that way you're not traveling with like a wet or dirty baby. Now, Shiloh is still using a pacifier. We are kind of in the process of weaning her off of one. But if your baby likes to use a pacifier, I would definitely bring one with you because you just never know at this age if they're going to be fussy while on the plane, and it also could help them sleep. So I brought this case. It's a pacifier case, and I bring about 2 pacifiers with me. That way I have a replacement if I lose one or if one gets dirty, but I don't want to overdo it and bring too many and lose them all. So I usually just bring 2 with me, and then if you want to bring more, you can put those in your checked bag, and that way when you get to your destination, you have more pacifiers there waiting for you. Also, bring a pacifier clip with you, and that way when you're on the plane or even going throughout the airport, your baby doesn't drop the pacifier on the floor. Since Shiloh is eating solid foods, I definitely am going to be bringing a pouch with us. They're like the 4-ounce size pouches. I don't have one at the moment to show you guys what it looks like, but basically it's just one of those like pouches with a screw off top. They are just really easy for feeding on the go, and that way there's no mess involved. I also packed an empty sippy cup. So typically you're not allowed to bring liquids through security, but I figured that if I brought an empty sippy cup that's like clean and ready to go, then once we get through security, I can buy like a bottle of water and just fill it up with water so she has it for the plane. I breastfeed Shiloh, so I'm not going to be traveling with formula and bottles and all of that. However, if she does get thirsty, I can always have the sippy cup on hand with the water for the plane. I just figured it'd be good in case she gets thirsty on the plane and it's not time to feed her yet. I can just give her some water. Plus, it's just another thing that she can play with, hold in her hands. She can chew on it, suck on it. It's just another object that can help hold her attention for a little bit while we're on the flight. Now, this next thing is something that you do not want to forget. If your baby is like 4 months or older, you definitely want to bring items that are like toys or teethers, things that they can hold in their hands, they can chew on, they can play with, maybe even stuff that makes a noise. And that way, hopefully, they don't get bored while they're on the plane and get fussy. So what I chose to bring are just a few teethers. We have this little owl that's like a silicone-like material. And here I have another teething toy that's also from Target. This is like a squishy material. And then this part is a rattle. So it makes some noise. So she might enjoy just kind of like shaking it, chewing on it, playing with it. I also have some of these links attached to it, and I find that these links really come in handy for a lot of different uses. So not only does Shiloh like to chew on them, she likes to play with them and like shake them like a rattle, but they also help connect things. And I figured that I could even clip them to her pacifier clip, and that way they don't fall off of her and her toys don't fall on the ground. So just an idea that if you link the toys like this, and I'm also gonna do it to this one too, I could even hold the other end and just make sure that these don't fall on the ground of the plane while we're flying. I also am packing this little fake baby cell phone because Shiloh loves electronics. She loves the remote control, she loves our cell phones, and she loves to chew on them. So I figured that if she had her own, she could press the buttons, she can look in the mirror, and these also open like a little book, and it's something she can chew on and just kind of like hopefully hold her attention again for 20 minutes or whatever we need it to be. A few other ideas of things you can bring with you for the plane is you can bring small books. If your baby likes story time and reading, there's also interactive books that you can like touch and feel or like flip open and you can see, you know, different characters. But I think that if you have books that you can bring with you on the plane that are compact, that may really come in handy. And if your baby is 6 months or older, you might want to consider bringing an iPad just to help hold their attention. Or if it's like an emergency situation and they're just super fussy, crying, and don't want to go to sleep, I have found in our traveling that sometimes the only thing that will stop Shiloh from crying or even helping her to fall asleep is the Baby Shark song and video. So as funny as it is, I think it doesn't hurt to slip an iPad in the bag and just have it. Just in case you need to pull up some downloaded videos, something that they can watch that has colors and sounds and hopefully calms them down, you know, stimulates them, maybe even helps soothe them to sleep. Now, I do want to say that I am not big on screen time for babies, but again, if your baby is older and all over the place and they're traveling on your lap, I just think that it might not hurt to have with you just for that flight, just for that hour or 30-minute time period. Now that is everything that went in the carry-on, but let's move on to what you're gonna put in the checked bag. I personally like to pack one onesie for every night that I'm going to be traveling, and then I also pack, you know, 2 to 3 going out outfits. So these are outfits that your baby can wear to church, or, you know, going out to dinner, or if you're going to have photos taken and you want them to look nice, these are outfits that your baby would wear to that type of like event. And then of course, I also bring a few extra onesies on top of that. You know, just onesies for lounging around the house or pajamas. You always want to be sure to pack, you know, a few extras in case something happens and they need an outfit change. Now, depending on where you're going, keep in mind that if you can do laundry there, you may not have to pack as much. But if you can't do laundry, then be sure to pack everything that you're going to need. Don't forget to pack socks, hats if it's cold. You can also pack bows and fun accessories if you want your baby to have those little items and dress up while they're there. Also shoes if your baby is starting to walk, or if it's going to be cold, you definitely want to bring some shoes as well. I do advise to pack the clothes in like a clear Ziploc bag, and that way all of your baby clothes are separate from your clothes in your suitcase, and it's just easy to access and organize. Definitely bring with you everything that your baby is going to need to have a successful night's sleep. So if your baby sleeps in a sleep sack, a swaddle, anything like that, definitely bring it with you. I would bring 1 or 2 with you, and that way if one gets dirty, you have another one on hand. Also, be sure to bring a noise machine if your baby uses a noise machine, a pacifier if they use a pacifier. If there's a stuffed animal or something that they always sleep with at night, I would suggest just bringing it with you, and that way it just helps remind them at home, and you can help create that sleep environment that's so similar to at home. If you're using a pack and play or like renting a crib or something like that while you're at your destination, you could bring your own sheet with you. And that way you can just tuck this sheet in and under the pack and play or whatever it is. And that way you just know that your baby is going to be sleeping on a clean surface. When we stayed in a hotel for my sister's wedding, we were able to just ask the hotel for a crib, and they brought in like a metal crib that was on wheels. And I brought my own baby blanket that was used for swaddling, and I just put it over and tucked it in on the sides. So it was kind of like a fitted sheet, and Shiloh was able to sleep on there. And I wasn't worried about how well they wash their sheets and that type of thing. Other than that, you really just need to bring some baby essentials. So make sure that you bring your baby's toiletries. If they have a toothbrush, pack the toothbrush. Toothpaste if you use toothpaste and not water. You will also need to bring stuff for your baby to take a bath, so bring a baby towel, shampoo, body wash, and lotion. Another item to consider bringing for safety purposes is a thermometer and maybe like some Tylenol or painkiller and fever reducer. These are things that you hopefully won't have to use, but of course, if your baby's acting up and you're on the road, it's always good to have with you, so you can check their temperature and, you know, give them Tylenol if they have a fever or if they're teething or something like that. It's just always good to have with you. And if you're traveling, think about if you're going to need to bring a car seat with you and a stroller. It's very likely that you will be wanting these things, because if you're going to do anything like shopping or, you know, just going out and walking or going to a theme park, you're definitely going to want a stroller. We personally would rather use our own items than rent, so we always bring our stroller and our car seat with us. And what works best is if you check it at your gate. So don't check it when you check your bag. Bring it with you through security. And then right when you're about to get on the plane, you can just fold up the stroller and grab the car seat, and you'll walk that down, and they will take it from you right before you step on your plane. That way, once you land, your car seat and your stroller are waiting for you right when you step off of your plane. And I've just found that is the most convenient. If you're flying Southwest, they will actually let you check the car seat and the stroller like completely free of cost to you. And my last piece of advice to you if you're traveling with your baby for the first time is to just relax and enjoy it and have fun. I know I stressed out so much when we were bringing Shiloh to Illinois for my sister's wedding. She was only 3.5 months old, and I was so nervous, but everything ended up turning out great. Your baby will probably do better than you think that they're going to, but bringing these items and being organized and prepared is just going to help your whole traveling process go as smooth as possible. All right, you guys, so that is everything that I bring with us when we travel. I hope you found this video helpful to you. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. You think it's funny?